We'll get a little bit of a dip lower soon, and then we're going to come up, test the high, which was the all-time high, find a bit of reaction, and then accelerate higher out of that towards six figure. The other macro forecast was that we would come up, test this high, and then we would just start to sell off. And this sell-off would probably take us down into the low threes. So we are at that juncture right now in Bitcoin where both of these possibilities are on the table. And from an Elliott Wave perspective, I cannot eliminate either of these. This would have been wave 1, and that this was a wave 2, and that this is wave 1 of 3, and that a little correction would be wave 2 of 3, and then this will rocket higher in a wave 3 of 3. The other possibility that I laid out was that, okay, maybe we do drift a little bit lower. Now this lower drift may take us down into the mid threes, like 3,500. Hi there, everybody, and welcome to See the Waves. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the two main cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin and Ethereum. As you may know, cryptocurrency market has hit all-time highs. Bitcoin hit an all-time high this week. Ethereum hit an all-time high this week. So we're going to go out, we're going to take a look at these from an Elliott Wave perspective and see if these are all-time highs that are going to last or if we're going to get a major rejection. So starting off here with Bitcoin. So we got an all-time high that was put into play back in April the 14th, large correction through the summer, and then we've come back up this week and surpassed that all-time high very briefly, and then we've started to sell off a little bit. So I'm not going to go into the full Elliott Wave analysis because I've recently completed a video on Bitcoin and on Ethereum, and so I will point you back towards those. So I'm going to give a little more of the higher level view of what we're looking at and then get down into the nitty gritty, but I would highly encourage you to go out and review the Bitcoin video that I published a couple of weeks ago. Because from a big macro level, nothing has changed. Everything is on path exactly as we had discussed. As a matter of fact, I believe it was October the 7th when the previous video was created on Bitcoin. So that would be about right here. And it was during that time in that video from October the 7th, I said, we'll get a little bit of a dip lower soon, and then we're going to come up, test the high, which was the all-time high, find a bit of reaction, and then accelerate higher out of that towards six figures. So the forecast that was laid out on October 7th, where that was that we were going to get a little bit of a reaction, come up, test this high, get another reaction up here, and then work ourselves higher. Whoops. Do something like this. So that was one of the macro forecasts. The other macro forecast was that we would come up, test this high, and then we would just start to sell off. And this sell-off would probably take us down into the low threes. So we are at that juncture right now in Bitcoin where both of these possibilities are on the table. And from an Elliott Wave perspective, I cannot eliminate either of these, from the possibility, from the cards of possibility. So they are both possible. I would probably give a little bit of an edge to the more bullish one, just because I'm more bullish Bitcoin, but they both haven't broken any rules, and none of the rules are really going to get broken until we break down below here. So the bullish perspective, we could sell off a little bit. We could come back down here into the low to mid 50s and then accelerate higher. And this could still be a very strong bullish move to the upside. And so that's what I think we need to respect here, is that Bitcoin could, on this breakout to the upside, could really accelerate higher. But on the other hand, there is another view that is equally possible to where we sell off back down into the mid 30s. And then from there would be an opportunity to reload for the long term to the upside on Bitcoin. Okay, so also from that video on October the 7th, we had laid out up here near that all-time high this Fibonacci retracement level. So we've got a, 1, 2, 3. We've got a three-wave move. A three-wave move from an Elliott Wave perspective is considered a corrective move. Now, this three-wave move could morph into, something that evolves into a five-wave move. But for right now, it's a three-wave move. And that's why we need to respect the possibility that a three-wave move denotes a corrective move, and that it's possible it could be retraced. And so if we do end up getting a move back down into the mid-30s, then I think what we're looking at here is we are looking at wave A of a triangle, B of a triangle, and then wave C of a triangle. We'll get another rally higher here in wave D of a triangle, and so it would continue to grind on sideways. So that is a possibility to also keep in mind, that we are not out of the woods as far as another deep correction coming, but I would keep focused on the possibility of an explosion higher here through this all-time high. So what can we look for? Let me zoom in here on a 4-hour chart. If you like what you see here, go ahead, press the like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on all notifications. That way you'll be notified of future videos. And another channel that been keeping an eye on here is, we've rallied higher here. We're now sitting on top of this price channel. This is not unusual for prices to break outside of a price channel, continue to test it. Now, if it drops back inside of this price channel, I think all that it means is that we may just drop back down here into the low 50s, low to mid 50s. And then from there, it could reload for another move higher into the all-time highs. So you can keep an eye on this price channel and see if we are going to get some near-term weakness. We don't have to have near-term weakness. We could just simply dance around these all-time highs and then explode higher. But if we do get some near-term weakness down into the low to mid-50s, it's not anything that I would be concerned about. That would still fit fully within the largely bullish count that would take us up into the six-figure range. All right, so let's look at the Elliott Wave picture on a 4-hour count here. I've adjusted this Elliott Wave count slightly from that October 7th video, in that I'm showing the end of wave 3 right here at the 2618. I've changed this over to a log scale. So we've got a wave 1 up, wave 2 lower. We've rallied in an extended third wave that has gone 2.618 the length of wave 1. That's a common Fibonacci relationship between wave 3 and wave 1. We've got a wave 4 that has come back to retest the extreme of the previous wave 4, and then another wave 5 rally out of here. Now, this wave 5 rally also has a Fibonacci relationship in play to where wave 5 is 1618, the length of wave 1 right here at the high. So we've got several levels of relationships, wave relationships coming into play. And it's because of this reason why I think we're going to get a little bit more of a correction lower. And then we'll start to work ourselves higher and move up above into a new all-time high up towards 6 figures. So that is my preferred wave count. But again, as I said earlier in this video, do not be surprised if Bitcoin does fall from here and moves back down into the low to mid 30s, simply because we've got a 3-wave rise off of that summer 2021 low. Okay, so that's all we've got on Bitcoin. Let's move on over into Ethereum. Now on Ethereum, I sent out a tweet yesterday. Hopefully you've had a chance to take a look at it. It's a version of this chart. Now within this chart, if we go back to our notes from Ethereum, we had said we were going to be looking for a partial retracement, and that this was a very bullish count, and that we may move on up to about 4,000, get a little bit of a reaction. So I think Ethereum, for Ethereum, that previous video was created about right here. And so at that time, and again, I would highly encourage you to go out and watch that video. But at that time in that video, I'd said we're going to get a move up here towards 4,000, get a little bit of a correction, but I would anticipate that correction to be brief. And then from there, we would start to rally higher. Okay. So far that's happened. We've gotten that move up to 4,000. We've rallied up into a new all-time high. Now we're starting to correct. So what's going on here? Well, one thing that I think is going on is that we have completed an Elliott Wave impulse wave at that 4,000 high, which is what I was anticipating in the previous video. Now the correction was very shallow, it was very brief, and so then that would imply that this would have been wave 1, and that this was a wave 2, and that this is wave 1 of 3, and that a little correction would be wave 2 of 3, and then this will rocket higher in a wave 3 of 3. So this wave count that you're looking at right now in Ethereum suggests a very, very bullish move. As a matter of fact, in that tweet from yesterday, I had laid out a couple of different scenarios. One scenario is that we would get a little bit of a correction, and then we just start to rocket higher from here. And that's this wave count, this wave picture that we're looking at here. Is that we get a very brief correction. Maybe we come back down to about that 4,000 range, maybe a little bit lower, but not much, not much. It would need to hold up above this level here near 3,700. But from there, just rocket higher. So that's one possibility. The other possibility that I laid out was that, okay, maybe we do drift a little bit lower. Now this lower drift may take us down into the mid threes, like 3,500. And if this were the case, the wave labels on this would shift a little bit. First of all, I would move wave 4 over here, and I would move wave 5 up here. So in essence, that would mean that wave 1, a larger degree wave 1 finished up at this high, and that we would grind a little bit lower in a larger degree wave 2. Okay, so you have a larger wave 1 up here, we get a larger wave 2 down here. A lot of times after you get a completed impulse wave, which this move would be a completed impulse wave, you get a retracement back to the previous fourth wave, and so that would take us back down here into the mid threes. So either of these scenarios are on the table for Ethereum, and which one do I have a preference for? I mean, again, be aware that we could just take off from here. But if we do get a little bit of a dip and a little bit of a correction, I believe this is going to offer up an opportunity to accumulate Ethereum in that 3,500 level. Now, just like Bitcoin, Ethereum also has that chance where we could be grinding out in a large triangle and we may get a dip back down into the low twos, but it's going to be that low twos is where it's going to offer up another opportunity to accumulate. So I don't think we're going to see any massive corrections to the downside, maybe the low twos, but these are both going to be cryptocurrencies to accumulate. So that's all I've got here for today. Hope you enjoy this video. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a subscribe if this is the first time that you've joined us here at See the Waves. We do these videos from time to time on cryptocurrencies and other assets using Elliott Wave theory as our guide. So if you have any questions about how to trade with Elliott Wave theory, make sure to check out our other websites at www.cewaves.com. We will talk to you soon. Bye now.